Hi, my name's James Lee.
And I'm Jean Rose.
And today we're going to be presenting dissociative amnesia.
Previously known as psychogenic amnesia. Dissociative amnesia is classified as one of the dissociative disorders.
It usually occurs when a person blocks out certain information, usually associated with stressful or traumatic events.
This leaves them unable to remember personal information.
With this disorder, the degree of memory loss goes beyond normal forgetfulness and includes gaps in memory, or of memories involving the traumatic event. There are 4 different types of dissociative amnesia. Localized amnesia. This is usually caused due to trauma. Loss of memory from a specific event or period of time. Can remember events before and after the trauma. Selective amnesia. Like localized amnesia, the memory lost is related to an event or a period of time. However, with selective amnesia, you forget more specific details, but you still remember more general details. For example, you might forget about certain facts or things that relate to another person, but you might still somewhat remember them. The third is continuous amnesia. This is a scary type of amnesia where you forget newly formed memories. Basically, as you form memories and you experience them, you basically immediately forget them. Terrifying. The last is generalized amnesia. This is the type of amnesia that you might see in like a big Hollywood movie or something like that. This is very rare. It's when someone forgets a lot about their own identity. They might forget about their life up to a certain point, or they might just completely lose a chunk of their life. Here's a video of someone who experienced memory loss due to dissociative amnesia.
I recognized everything. But at the same time, I didn't recognize anything. It was like it was someone else there. I think it was in my head. Maybe I was dreaming it.
Here's an overview of the disorder. Pay close attention because we're going to be giving out candy prizes throughout the video. Who first discovered dissociative amnesia and recognized it as a disorder? Not much is known about the history of amnesia in general or how it's discovered. People seriously became interested in looking into dissociative amnesia in the 1980s, the last few decades. But people started to pay attention to this disorder in the late 1800s and the early 1900s. What were the treatments of the past versus the treatments of today? It's still relatively new to the world, and people of the past just didn't focus on it very much. Often people in the past only practiced therapy and occasionally brought in some antidepressants. But in present time, people are slowly moving towards psychotherapy, also known as talk therapy. This allows patients to talk about their disorders, of course within the presence of a mental health professional. Thoughts and related issues. Even today, there's no medication or therapy that doctors consider to be a sure way for people to get over dissociative amnesia. Even if someone regains their memories, they're still going to need to go through therapy to get over the fact that they once lost their memories, because that can be traumatic as well. Doctors prescribe anti-anxiety and antidepressant medications to help a person experiencing this disorder to get through it. The main treatment being therapy, it is hopeful to think that someone will regain their memories naturally and over time. Adapting to the circumstances and moving on with your life is the only way a patient can hope to end up living a happy and healthy life. Due to dissociative amnesia being still a fairly new discovery, there's not much of a historical lineage. No stable framework for rehabilitation exists. I'll further explain this later when we show you a video. Further research about neurobiology and strategies to improve diagnosis is needed. In essence, still a relatively unknown disorder. What does new research and data tell us about this disorder? It tells us that if a person maintains a healthy mind and keeps undergoing therapy, they will hopefully recover their memories over time.
Disclaimer: common misconception. Medical amnesia is not the same as dissociative amnesia. With medical amnesia, recovery is rare, slow, and gradual. This is due to structural brain damage and lesions. But with dissociative amnesia, which is our topic today, the cases are relatively short. But when the memories potentially return, it is quick, sudden, and complete. The process of memory recovery can happen on its own, but it's either triggered or with therapy. But remember, not all patients regain their memory. What percentage of the population is affected with this disorder? Dissociative amnesia is a very rare disorder. It only affects 1% of men and 2.6% of women in the general population. However, rates can also increase after natural disasters and wars because of all the traumatic experiences. And you might wonder, are there any celebrities that suffer from this disorder? And a celebrity you might know, Ruby Rose, was actually diagnosed at the age of 18. She also had a history of depression, in which she was diagnosed at age 16. Other celebrities like Naomi Jacobs, Adam Duritz, and Herschel Walker also suffer from this disorder. Now, which structures in the brain might be involved with this disorder? It is thought to be the temporal frontal region of the brain, which is part of the limbic system. Dissociative amnesia is also thought to be related to the hippocampal part of the brain, and it is also thought to affect the posterior parietal cortex. This is because the posterior parietal cortex is commonly linked to self-identity deficits. However, because of very little research done to this disorder, no one's really too sure. But if you have this disorder, you can get help. The Sidran Institute is here to give a helping hand. They treat, help, and understand those experiencing traumatic disorders recover. They also help those battling dissociative disorders and co-occurring issues like suicidalness. There's also another clinic called the CDS UK. This is a clinic committed to studying dissociative disorders. Contact the email info@clinicds.com for more information.
On April 20th, 2015, I blacked out, drove off the interstate, and when I woke up, I thought that it was 2011. It took the police and fire and EMS and everybody about 10 minutes to figure out that something was actually wrong. All of the phone numbers that I remembered were wrong, very wrong, very obviously old. My dad had changed his number and someone else had that number. After an MRI, an EKG, and some psychological screening, nobody could tell me why I couldn't remember 4 years of my life. I was sent home without any knowledge about my amnesia or how it was going to affect the rest of my life. I was never actually told what was causing my amnesia, and I was never given a name for it, but after some research, I diagnosed myself with dissociative amnesia. The term fit my symptoms. I was given support by tons of people on social media that I didn't even remember. I went home from the hospital with a wife that I didn't remember meeting. I stayed with her for about a month before I realized that something apart from my particular situation was very wrong with our relationship. Then I went and stayed with my grandparents till I got back on my feet. But now, 4 years later, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, okay? The memories between 2011 and 2015 are still spotty. I know what people have told me. For instance, I know I graduated high school, but I don't remember actually walking across the stage. I know that I came out of the closet to both of my parents and that it went well, but I don't remember what it actually felt like to do it. I know that my ex-wife cheated on me, but I don't remember what it felt like to go through her phone and find all of her text messages. And the worst part is that I don't know why. I don't know why I don't remember. Because the therapist that I was seeing after my accident wasn't interested in helping me with my amnesia. She was just interested in helping me get through my depression. Now, after 4 years, as much as it frustrates me, this is just life.